These are two of the most important devices in computer networking, but many beginners get confused between them. What is a switch? First, let's talk about the switch. A switch is a networking device that connects multiple devices within the same local network. For example, in a home or office network, a switch can connect computers, printers, IP phones, servers, and smart TVs. A switch mainly works at layer 2, also known as the data link layer. To identify devices, it uses something called a MAC address. A MAC address is a unique hardware address assigned to every network device. The main job of a switch is simple. It receives data from one device and sends it only to the correct destination device. How does a switch work? Let's look at an example. Suppose your laptop wants to send a file to a printer. Both devices are connected to the same switch. Your laptop creates data and sends it to the switch. The switch checks the destination MAC address. It already knows which port the printer is connected to. So instead of sending the data everywhere, it forwards the data directly to the printer. This makes communication fast and efficient. Think of a switch as a hallway inside an apartment building. Each room has a number. If you want to deliver a package to room 102, you don't knock on every door. You go directly to room 102. It knows where devices are connected and sends data directly to the correct device. What is a router? Now let's talk about the router. A router connects different networks together. The most common example is connecting your home network to the internet. While a switch works mainly at layer 2, a router works at layer 3, also called as the network layer. Instead of MAC addresses, routers use IP addresses. An IP address identifies the location of a device on a network. The router job is to determine where data should go when it needs to travel between different networks. How does a router work? Let's take a real world example. Suppose you open your web browser and visit google.com. Your laptop creates packets and sends them to the router. The router checks the destination IP address. It sees that Google is not inside your local network. So the router forwards the packets towards the internet. Those packets travel through multiple routers across different networks until they reach Google servers. Google then sends a response back through the internet and the router delivers that response to your laptop. This entire process happens in just few milliseconds. Think of the router as a postal worker at the front gate of a building. The switch only knows the rooms inside the building, but the router knows how to send letters to other buildings, cities, and countries. If you want to send a letter to another city, you give it to the postal worker. The postal worker reads the address and chooses the best route. A router does the same thing with data packets. It reads IP addresses and decides the best path to the destination. Let's compare packet flow in both devices. The switch looks at the MAC address and forwards the data within the same network. The router looks at the IP address and forwards the data between different networks. This is the biggest difference between a switch and a router. Remember this simple rule. Switch is equal to inside the network, router is equal to between networks. If devices need to communicate within the same network, a switch handles it. If data needs to leave the network and reach another network or the internet, a router handles it.